Listen up, greeting to all of you. Many people ask, is God angry with me? They do something, and when things don't go their way, they look up and say, why me, God? This is a very convenient way to shift responsibility. You see, if you believe God is angry with you, that means you think he is sitting somewhere watching your every move and keeping track of your sins. If he is so petty, is he really God? But let's keep aside belief for a moment instead. Let's talk about life itself, because life has its own intelligence. When you move in the right direction, it supports you. When you go against it, it resists. This resistance is what many people call God's anger. It is not some punishment from above. It is simply life reflecting your own actions back at you. So let's look at 6 signs that indicate you are out of tune with life's intelligence, what you may call God's anger. When you wake up in the morning and feel like everything is going wrong, it can be frustrating. You try to do something, but obstacles appear from nowhere. Your relationships feel difficult, your work becomes a struggle, and even your own thoughts seem to turn against you. It feels as if life is deliberately working against you, like an unseen force is pushing you in the wrong direction. Some people call it bad luck, others think it is fate. Some believe it is God's anger, but let's think about it for a moment. If there is a higher intelligence, a divine force, do you think it is wasting time being angry at you with something so vast, so powerful, be petty enough to hold grudges like a human being? No, life does not work that way. Instead, life has a natural rhythm of flow and intelligence of its own. When you move in harmony with it, things happen smoothly. When you go against it, resistance appears. This resistance is not punishment. It is simply a sign that you need to pause and reflect. Imagine you are sailing a boat. If you sail with the wind, your journey is smooth. But if you sail against it, you struggle. Your boat wobbles, and sometimes it may even flip over. Life is the same way. When you align yourself with the natural order of things, everything moves effortlessly. But if you resist, if you act against your own inner wisdom, you will feel stuck, exhausted, defeated. When chaos surrounds you, it is important to ask, why is this happening? Instead of blaming luck or an outside force, look within. Often chaos is a result of choices. We have made choices that were not in tune with our true nature. Maybe we made decisions based on fear, greed, or ego rather than clarity, wisdom. Maybe we ignored signs along the way thinking we knew better. But life does not work according to personal desires alone. It follows a deeper law, a larger in look at nature. A tree does not struggle to grow. It simply grows in the direction that allows it to thrive. A river does not argue with the land. It finds its way naturally. But human beings, with all their intelligence, often resist the flow of life. We try to control everything, force situations to match our expectations, and when they don't, we feel frustrated. This frustration builds up. Soon life begins to feel chaotic. If your relationships are in constant turmoil, if misunderstandings keep happening, and if you feel like no one understands you, it is time to reflect. Are you communicating with honesty and openness? Are you always trying to prove something? Are you truly listening, or are you just waiting for your turn to speak? Sometimes chaos in relationships is not because of the other person, but because of our own ability to connect with clarity. If we operate from a place of insecurity or ego, even the best relationships will feel difficult. Similarly, in work or career, if every step feels like a struggle, if success seems to slip away, no matter how hard you try, it is worth asking, am I on the right path? Maybe you are forcing yourself into something that does not align with your strengths. Maybe you are chasing something because society told you it was valuable, but deep down it does not bring you joy. When you move away from what truly matters to you, work becomes a burden, and no matter how much you push, progress remains slow. Even on a personal level, when your own mind feels chaotic, when anxiety and restlessness take over, it is not because the world is against you. It is because you are not at peace with yourself. We spend so much time running after external things, money, approval, success, that we forget to check if we are even happy. When you constantly seek fulfillment inside of yourself, you will always feel a sense of lack. You will keep chasing, but the goalpost will keep moving. This creates endless frustration and makes life feel like a battle. But the good news is chaos is not a permanent state. It is simply a signal, a wake-up call. If you listen to it, it can guide you back to balance. Instead of fighting against life, pause and observe. Ask yourself, where am I forcing things? Where am I resisting the natural flow? Sometimes the answer is simple. Maybe you need to let go of a certain belief, a certain expectation, or even a certain path that no longer serves you. When you stop resisting, when you align yourself with what is natural and right for you, life responds differently. Things start falling in place. Challenges do not disappear, but they become easier to handle. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you feel like an active participant in life. Instead of chaos, there is clarity. Instead of struggle, there is effortlessness. So if chaos is everywhere in your life, do not see it as a punishment. See it as a teacher. It is showing you where change is needed, is asking you to reflect, to realign, and to move in a way that is in harmony with your true self. When you do this, life will no longer feel like an uphill battle. It will flow. And You will flow with it. There are times in life when even if you are surrounded by people, you feel completely alone. You may have friends, family, and colleagues around you, but something inside feels empty. You laugh with others, talk with them, share moments, but deep down there is a feeling that no one truly understands you. You try to fill this emptiness by keeping yourself busy, by seeking company, or by distracting yourself with entertainment. But no matter what you do, the loneliness does not go away. Some people think loneliness means not having people around, but that is not true. You can be in a crowded room and still feel isolated. On the other hand, you can be alone in a forest or sitting quietly at home and feel completely at peace. So loneliness is not about how many people are in your life. It is about how connected you feel to yourself, to others, to life itself. Feeling disconnected is like standing behind a glass wall. You can see the world, you can see people talking, laughing, and going about their lives, but you feel separate from all of it. You may even feel like an outsider, as if you do not belong anywhere. This can lead to sadness, frustration, and even hopelessness. You may ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Why can't I connect with people the way others seem to? But the real question is not about others. It is about your own connection with yourself. Most people go through life without truly knowing themselves. They live according to what society expects, what their families want, what they believe will bring them success. They follow routines, chase goals, and try to fit in, but in the process, they lose touch with who they really are. When you are disconnected from yourself, no matter how many people you have around you, you will feel lonely. Have you ever sat in silence and truly observed your thoughts? Have you ever asked yourself what you really want beyond what others expect from you? Many people avoid this because they are afraid of what they might find. They are afraid that if they stop pretending, they will have to face their fears, their insecurities, and hornies, and their true desires. But unless you connect with yourself, you cannot truly connect with others. When you are at peace within you, do not need external validation. You do not need people to constantly reassure you or make you feel important. You enjoy company. You also enjoy solitude. You are comfortable being with yourself because you are not running away from anything inside you. But when there is inner confusion, you seek distraction. You constantly check your phone, scroll through social media, watch endless videos, keep yourself busy with unnecessary tasks just to avoid being alone with your own thoughts. This is why people feel lonely even when they have many friends. Their conversations are shallow. Their relationships feel empty, and their interactions lack depth. They talk about everything: movies, news, gossip, but never about what truly matters. They are afraid to be vulnerable, afraid to open up, afraid to show their real emotions. So even in the company of others, they feel unseen, unheard, and disconnected. True connection does not come from having many friends or being in a relationship. It comes from being able to share yourself honestly without fear. It comes from having at least one person with one part. Before that, you must be open with yourself. If you are constantly pretending, hiding your true thoughts and feelings, or living according to someone else's expectations, you will always feel alone, no matter how many people surround you. Loneliness is not something to be ashamed of. It's simply a sign that something within you needs attention. It is an invite to go deeper, to understand yourself better, and to reconnect with life. Instead of running away from this feeling, sit with it. Ask yourself, what is this loneliness trying to tell me? Maybe it is telling you that you have been ignoring your true desires. Maybe it is reminding you to slow down and listen to your inner voice. Maybe it is pushing you to seek deeper, more meaningful relationships. Many people think that finding the right partner or making more friends will solve their loneliness. But if the disconnection is within you, external relationship can fix it. You may feel happy for a while, but soon the emptiness will return. This is why some people keep jumping from one relationship to another, always hoping the next one will finally make them feel complete. No one else can complete you. Only you can do that for yourself. So what can you do when you feel disconnected? The first step is to slow down. In today's world, everyone is in a hurry. People are constantly occupied, rushing to work, checking emails, scrolling through their phone. But they rarely pause to reflect. Take time to be with yourself. Sit quietly without distractions. Go for a walk in nature. Write down your thoughts. Meditate. Do something that allows you to reconnect with your inner self. The second step is to be honest with yourself. Are you living the life you truly want? Are you just following a path that was given to you? Are you expressing your true feelings, or are you hitting them out of fear? Are you spending time with people who uplift you, or are you surrounded by those who drain you? Your energy. Being honest with yourself can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary if you want to move from loneliness to connection. The third step is to open your heart. Many people feel disconnected because they're afraid of being hurt. They have been let down in the past. They build walls around themselves. They avoid deep conversations, keep their emotions hidden, and never allow anyone to see their true self. But real connection requires vulnerability. It requires the courage to be seen as you are. If you want to overcome loneliness, start by deepening your existing relationships. Instead of just talking about daily events, share something personal. Instead of just listening to respond, listen to truly understand. Make an effort to connect with people on a deeper level. And if you do not have such relationships yet, be patient. When you become more open, authentic, you will naturally attract the right people into your life. Lastly, remember that loneliness is not a punishment. It is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is simply a reminder to reconnect with yourself, with others, and with life itself. When you start living in a way that is true to who you are, the sense of isolation will fade. You will no longer feel like an outsider looking in. You will feel like a part of the great flow of life, deeply connected to everything around you. When that happens, even if you are alone, you will never feel lonely again. There are times when no matter what you do, you cannot feel at peace. Your mind keeps running in circles, jumping from one thought to another, never stopping, never resting. You try to sleep, but your body feels tense, your heart beats faster, and your thoughts refuse to slow down. Even when you are surrounded by people, there is a sense of uneasiness inside you, like something is wrong. You cannot quite understand what it is. You tell yourself that everything is fine, that there is no real problem, but the feeling does not go away. This feeling of restlessness and anxiety is something many people experience, yet few talk about it openly. It is not always caused by something obvious. Sometimes there is no immediate danger, no specific reason to feel worried, but still your mind refuses to calm down. You may try to distract yourself by watching something, scrolling through your phone, or keeping yourself busy. But the moment you stop, the feeling returns. It is as if something inside you is unsettled, constantly searching for something. But you do not know what many people assume, that anxiety is caused by external situations, stress from work, financial work, problems in relationships. But often it runs deeper. It is not just about what is happening outside. It is about what is happening inside. When your mind is in a state of disorder, when your emotions are unbalanced, you will feel restless. No matter what your situation is, you may have everything you need: food, shelter, a job, even people who care about you, but still there is no peace within. One of the biggest causes of this internal uneasiness is the habit of living too much in the human mind has a way of constantly projecting itself forward, thinking about what might happen next, planning, worrying, and creating endless scenarios. If you sit quietly for a moment and observe your thoughts, you will notice that most of them are not about the present moment. They are either about things that happened in the past, things that might happen in the future. You may worry about what someone will say to you tomorrow, how a certain situation will turn out, or whether something will go wrong. But the truth is, most of these thoughts are unnecessary. They do not change anything. They do not solve any problems. They only make you feel more anxious. And yet, you keep thinking them because the mind has developed a habit of being restless. It does not know how to be still. Another reason for this feeling of uneasiness is the pressure that modern life puts on people. Society has created a system where everyone is expected to keep moving, to always be doing something, to always be achieving. If you are not working hard, if you are not constantly improving, if you are not running after something, you start to feel like you are falling behind. This creates a constant sense of urgency, a fear that you are not doing enough, that you are wasting time. Even when you try to rest, a voice inside tells you that you should be doing something more productive. This never-ending cycle of pressure and expectation makes it difficult to relax. You may sit down for a moment, but your mind refuses to be at ease. It keeps reminding you of all the things you should be doing, all the things you have not yet achieved. You feel guilty for taking a break, as if resting is something wrong. This is why so many people struggle with anxiety. They have forgotten how to just be. Another common cause of restlessness is the habit of comparing yourself to others. In today's modern age, is easier than ever to see what everyone else is doing. Social media shows you the highlights of other people's lives, their achievements, their happiness, their success. When you see this every day, it is easy to feel like you are not good enough, like you are missing out, like your life is not as exciting or meaningful as others. Even if you were feeling fine before, one look at someone else's accomplishments can make you question your own progress. But what you see is not the full picture. Everyone has struggles. Everyone has insecurities. Most people only show their best moments. If you compare your real life, your ups and downs, your struggles, your ordinary days to the perfect images you see online, you will always feel like you're lacking something. And this feeling of not being enough fuels anxiety. It makes you feel like you need to do more, achieve more, prove more. It keeps your mind constantly running, never allowing it to settle. To break free from the cycle of restlessness, you need to understand one simple truth: peace is not something that comes from outside. It is not something you will find by achieving more, by fixing everything, by making everything perfect. Peace is something that comes from within. It is a state of being that you can cultivate no matter what is happening around you. The first step to finding peace is to become aware of your own thoughts. Most people do not realize how much their mind controls them. they do not see how their thoughts create unnecessary stress and anxiety. But if you take a moment to step back and simply observe, you will notice that many of your worries are just stories your mind is creating. They are not real problems. They are just imagined fears. When you catch yourself getting lost in anxious thoughts, remind yourself to return to the present moment. Focus on what is real right now. Take a deep breath. Feel the sensations in your body. Notice the sounds around you. Bring your attention back to the present. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to break free from the cycle of restless thinking. Another way to calm your mind is to slow down in a world that is always rushing. Give yourself permission to move at your own pace. Take time to do things that nourish your soul. Walk in nature, listen to calming music, sit in silence, spend time with people who bring you peace. These small moments of stillness can help reset your mind and remind you that life is not just about running after things. It is also important to take care of your body. The way you treat your body has a direct impact on your mental state. If you are constantly eating unhealthy food, not getting enough sleep, or not moving your body, your energy will feel heavy and your mind will be more prone to anxiety. Simple habits like eating nourishing foods, exercising, and getting enough rest can make a huge difference in how you feel. Most importantly, remind yourself that it is okay to not have everything figured out. It is okay to not know what will happen next. Life is always changing and no one has complete control over it. The more you try to control everything, the more anxious you will feel. But when you learn to trust the process, to let go of the need for certainty, to simply flow with life, peace will come naturally. Restlessness and anxiety do not have to control you. They are just signals from your mind telling you that something needs attention. Instead of fighting them, listen to them. Ask yourself, what is really causing this uneasiness? Is it fear? Is it pressure? Is it the need for approval? Whatever it is, face it with awareness. The moment you stop running from it and start understanding it, it will lose its power over you. And when that happens, you will see that peace was never far away. It was always within you, waiting to be noticed. There are times when life feels like a cycle where the same problems keep coming back. No matter how hard you try to move forward, you may find yourself in the same difficult situations, facing the same struggles, dealing with the same emotions. It feels as if no matter how much effort you put in, you end up in the same place again. Again, you may wonder why this keeps happening, why certain patterns repeat, and why life does not seem to change. Even when you try to improve things, this can happen in different areas of life. It may be in your relationships, where you keep meeting the same type of people who hurt you, disappoint you, or take you for granted. You may find yourself getting close to someone only for things to fall apart in the same way as before. You may try to be more careful, to choose differently, but somehow the same kind of experience repeats itself. It can also happen in your work or financial situation. You may struggle with money, try to save, work harder, and make better decisions, yet you still end up struggling with the same financial difficulties. You may switch jobs hoping for something better. Find yourself dealing with the same frustrations, the same conflicts, or the same dissatisfaction. It feels as if no matter what changes on the surface, the deeper issues remain the same. Some people experience this in their personal habits. They try to change their lifestyle, to adopt healthier routines, to develop discipline, but they keep falling back into old patterns. They start with motivation, but soon they return to the same unhealthy choices, the same procrastination, or the same lack of progress. It is frustrating because they truly want to change, yet something seems to pull them back every time. When the same problems keep appearing in life, it is not a coincidence. It is not just bad luck or something outside your control. Often it is a sign that there is something deeper that needs to be understood. Life has a way of showing us lessons through repeated experiences. If a particular situation keeps coming back, it is because something within us has not yet changed. Many times, people try to solve their problems by changing external things. They switch jobs, move to new places, enter a new relationship, or try to create a fresh start. But if the real issue is within them, changing the outside world will not make much difference. The same problems will follow them wherever they go. The patterns will repeat because they are coming from within, from beliefs, fears, habits, or unresolved emotions. For example, if someone has a deep fear of being alone, they may keep getting into relationships where they feel used or unappreciated. No matter how many times they change partners, the same emotional wounds keep appearing because they have not yet healed that fear within themselves. Until they truly address the root of their loneliness, they will continue to attract similar experiences. If someone has limiting beliefs about money, they may always struggle financially, even if they earn more. They might have habits of spending recklessly, avoiding responsibility, or feeling unworthy of abundance. No matter how much they try to improve their financial situation, these deeper patterns will keep pulling them back until they recognize and change them. Sometimes people repeat negative patterns because they are comfortable in them. Even if they cause suffering, the mind prefers familiar things. Even if those things are painful or someone has been treated badly in the past, they may unconsciously seek similar situations because it feels normal to them. If they grew up in an environment of struggle, they may continue to create struggle in their life because it is what they are used to. Breaking free from repeating problems requires deep self-awareness. Instead of blaming the outside world, instead of thinking that life is unfair, a person must turn inward and ask, why does this keep happening? What is the lesson that I am not learning? What is the pattern that I need to break? These are not easy questions, but they are necessary if real change is to happen. One of the first steps to breaking these cycles is to observe your own thoughts and behaviors. Pay attention to your choices, your reactions, and your emotions when a problem appears again. Instead of reacting in the usual way, take a step back and analyze it. What triggered this situation? What emotions are involved? What beliefs do you hold about this problem? Is there something you keep doing that contributes to this pattern? Another important step is to take responsibility. Many people blame others for their problems. They believe that their struggles are caused by bad luck, difficult people, or unfair circumstances. While external factors do play a role, true change only happens when a person takes full responsibility for their life. This does not mean blaming on, but rather realizing that they have the power to change their patterns. Once awareness and responsibility are developed, the next step is to make conscious changes. This means breaking the automatic reactions and habits that keep leading to the same problems. If someone always reacts with anger, they can practice responding with calmness. If they always avoid responsibility, they can start taking small steps toward accountability. If they always attract negative relationships, they can work on setting better boundaries and choosing healthier connections. Change does not happen overnight. Breaking deep patterns takes time, patience, effort. There will be moments of struggle, times when old habits try to return, but with persistence and awareness, progress is possible. Each time a person chooses differently, they weaken the old pattern and create a new path for themselves. It is also helpful to seek guidance and support. Sometimes an outside perspective can help a person see what they cannot see on their own. Talking to a mentor, a steady friend, or professional can bring clarity to the patterns that need to be changed. Reading, learning, practicing self-reflection can also be powerful tools in understanding and breaking these cycles. Ultimately, repeating problems are not punishments, they are lessons. Life does not bring the same struggles again and again to make a person suffer, but to help them grow. Each repeated experience is an opportunity to learn, to evolve, and to transform. Instead of seeing these patterns as obstacles, they can be seen as a guide towards self-improvement. When a person finally understands the lesson behind their repeating problems, they break free. They stop attracting the same negative situations. They stop feeling stuck. They move forward with greater awareness and clarity. And as the inner world changes, so does the outer world. The same difficulties no longer appear because they are no longer needed. The lesson has been learned. This is why true change does not come from running away, but from looking within. It is not about changing jobs, relationships, or circumstances. It is about changing the thoughts, beliefs, and patterns that create those circumstances. When real transformation happens inside, life begins to reflect that change on the outside. The same problems no longer come back because they no longer have a reason to exist. When that happens, life finally moves forward in a new direction. The cycle is broken and a new path begins. There are times in life when nothing feels exciting or meaningful anymore. The things that once made you happy no longer bring the same joy. Even the activities that used to make you feel alive now seem dull and uninteresting. You wake up every day, go through the same routine, and feel like everything is just repeating without any real purpose. There is no excitement, no enthusiasm, no the deep sense of happiness. Life feels empty, and you wonder why you feel this way. At first, you may think it is just a passing phase, that maybe you are just tired or stressed. You tell yourself that things will get better, that you just need some rest, a change of scenery, or something new to focus on. But even after trying different things, the feeling does not go away. No matter what you do, there is still a sense of emptiness inside when nothing brings you joy. Even small things that used to make you smile feel like a burden you may have once loved. Spending time with friends and family, but now conversations feel forced. You may have enjoyed hobbies like reading, painting, or playing music, but now they seem pointless. Even entertainment, movies, or music that once excited you now feel like just background noise. It is as if a part of you has shut down, and you cannot understand why. For some people, this feeling of emptiness starts slowly. At first, they lose interest in one or two things. They tell themselves that they are just busy, that they will come back to it later. But then the disinterest spreads. More and more things stop feeling enjoyable. And before they realize it, everything starts to feel the same, dull, meaningless, and without purpose. One reason this happens is emotional exhaustion. When a person goes through too much stress, worry, or disappointment, their mind and heart become tired. Just like the body needs rest after too much physical activity, the mind also needs time to recover. If someone is constantly dealing with problems, pressure, or negative emotions, they may reach a point where they can no longer feel excitement or happiness the way they used to. Another reason this happens is a loss of connection. When a person becomes disconnected from their inner self, from their passions, from their true desires, life starts to feel empty. Many people spend years living according to what others expect of them. They follow routines, do what society tells them to do, and try to be responsible. But in the process, they lose touch with what truly makes them feel alive. When this happens, joy fades away, not because life is bad, because they are not living in a way that truly fulfills them. Sometimes losing joy is a sign that something inside needs to change. When a person feels no excitement for life, it can be a signal that they are not on the right path. It is easy to get stuck in routines that no longer serve us. A job that once felt rewarding may now feel boring. A relationship that once brought happiness may now feel empty. The things that once felt right may no longer fit who we have become. When this happens, the loss of joy is not a punishment. It is a sign that something deeper is calling for attention for. Some of the loss of joy comes from unresolved emotion, pain, sadness, disappointment, or fear that has been pushed aside for too long can slowly take over, making everything feel heavy, lifeless. When emotions are not processed, they do not disappear. They just build up inside over time. This can lead to a numbness where nothing feels enjoyable anymore. The mind becomes so used to blocking out pain that it also blocks out happiness. Another reason for this feeling is a lack of meaning. Joy does not come from just doing things. It comes from feeling connected to something meaningful. When a person does not feel a sense of purpose, even enjoyable activities lose their charm. If life feels like just going through the motions without any deeper meaning, happiness becomes harder to find. One of the first steps to bringing back joy is awareness instead of ignoring the feeling. Trying to force happiness, take time to understand what is happening inside. Ask yourself, when did this feeling start? What changed? Is there something I have been avoiding? Am I truly living in a way that makes me feel fulfilled? These questions may not have immediate answers, but simply asking them can begin the process of change. It is also important to take small steps toward reconnecting with life. Sometimes when nothing feels enjoyable, people make the mistake of waiting for motivation to return on its own. They think that one day they will suddenly feel excited again, but joy does not always return on its own. It often needs to be rediscovered. Even if something does not feel exciting right now, engaging in small, meaningful actions can help reignite that lost feeling. Reconnecting with nature, spending time in quiet reflection, expressing emotions through writing or art, or simply allowing oneself to rest without guilt can be small but powerful steps. Sometimes the mind needs space to breathe before joy can return. Letting go of expectations can also be helpful. Many people feel pressure to always be happy, always be productive, always have everything figured out, but life moves in cycles. Just as there are seasons in nature, there are seasons in human emotions. There will be times of excitement, times of stillness. Instead of forcing joy, allowing oneself to simply be without judgment can create the space for happiness to return naturally. Seeking deeper meaning can also help. When life feels empty, it may be time to explore new paths. This does not always mean big changes. It can be as simple as trying something new, learning something different, helping others, or asking deeper questions about what truly matters. Sometimes the soul needs new experiences, fresh perspectives, and a reminder that life is bigger than daily routines. Spending time with supportive people can also make a difference. Even when joy feels lost, connection with others can bring warmth. Talking to someone who understands, sharing thoughts, feelings without fear of judgment, or simply being around kind and loving people can remind a person that they are not alone. Taking care of the body is also important. Sometimes the loss of joy is connected to physical well-being. Lack of sleep, poor nutrition, lack of movement can affect emotions. Simple acts like getting enough rest, eating nourishing foods, and moving the body can have a surprising impact on how a person feels. Most importantly, patience is key. When nothing brings joy, it is easy to feel hopeless, to wonder if things will ever change. Just like the sun does not disappear forever on a cloudy day, joy does not vanish permanently. It may be hidden for a while, but it can always return. Sometimes life takes people through phases of stillness so they can reflect, grow, prepare for a new beginning. If joy feels lost, it does not mean something is wrong. It may simply mean that a new chapter is waiting to unfold. Instead of fearing this phase, embracing it with curiosity can lead discoveries. In time, joy will return, often in ways that are different but deeper than before. When a person reconnects with themselves, with their emotions, and with what truly matters, happiness comes back, not as a temporary excitement, but as a steady, lasting sense of fulfillment. There are moments in life when everything feels meaningless. You wake up each day and go through the motions, but inside there is an emptiness that will not go away. The things that used to excite you no longer seem important. Even if everything appears fine on the outside, something deep within you feels missing. There is no sense of direction, no strong reason to keep moving forward. It feels as if life is just happening without any real purpose. At first, you may try to ignore this feeling, thinking that it will pass with time. You tell yourself that you just need to stay busy, focus on your responsibilities, and things will get better. But as days go by, the empty remains. No matter how much you try to distract yourself, the question keeps returning. Why am I even doing this? What is the point of it all? When you feel no sense of purpose, even simple daily tasks can feel like a burden. Waking up in the morning feels like a chore, and getting through the day takes more effort than it should. The things that once motivated you no longer hold the same meaning. Your work, relationships, and hobbies start to feel like routine activities rather than something that truly matters. You feel disconnected from everything, as if you are just floating through life without any real direction. This feeling can come from many different places. Sometimes it happens when a person experiences a major life change. Losing a job, going through a breakup, or facing disappointment can shake a person's sense of purpose. Something that once gave meaning to life is no longer there, leaving a gap that feels impossible to fill. Other times, this feeling grows slowly without any specific reason. A person may be following the same routine for years, only to suddenly realize that they no longer feel fulfilled by it. A lack of purpose often comes from a disconnection between what you are doing and what truly matters to you. Many people spend years living according to what society expects of them. They follow the rules, get an education, find a job, build relationships, and try to create a stable life. But in the process, they may forget to ask themselves if this is truly what they want. They may be working hard, achieving goals, and doing everything right, yet still feel empty inside. Purpose is not just about having a job or a set of responsibility. It is about feeling connected to something meaningful. When a person does not feel that connection, everything starts to feel pointless. Even success does not feel satisfying if there is no deeper meaning behind it. A person may achieve financial stability, gain recognition, or reach personal goals, yet still feel lost inside. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with a lack of purpose is that they are searching for me in the wrong places. Many people believe that purpose comes from external achievements. They think that once they reach a certain level of success, find the right relationship, or build a perfect life, they will finally feel fulfilled. But true purpose does not come from these things alone. It comes from something deeper, something that is not dependent on external success. When a person loses their sense of purpose, it is often because they are disconnected from themselves. They may be living in a way that does not align with their true values, passions, or inner desires. They may be stuck in a job that does not inspire them, a relationship that does not bring growth, a lifestyle that does not reflect who they really are. Over time, this moment creates a feeling of emptiness. Finding purpose again does not happen overnight. It is not something that can be forced. Planned perfectly, it is a journey of self-discovery, of reconnecting with what truly matters. One of the first steps is to slow down and reflect. Instead of pushing away the feeling of emptiness, take time to understand it. Ask yourself, what do I truly care about? What makes me feel alive? When was the last time I felt deeply filled? These questions may not have immediate answers, but asking them opens the door to self-awareness. Sometimes purpose is not found in big achievements, but in small, meaningful moments, of conversation that inspires you, an act of kindness that touches your heart, a creative expression that brings joy. These small experiences can hold clues to what truly matters to you. Paying attention to what brings even the slightest sense of fulfillment can help guide you toward a deeper purpose. Another important step is to let go of the idea that purpose has to be one big thing. Many people believe that they need a grand mission in life, a clear path that defines their existence. But purpose is not always about having one big goal. It can be found in different forms at different stages of life. It may change over time, and that is okay. What matters is not finding a perfect purpose, but connecting with something that gives your life meaning in the present moment. Taking action, even in small ways, can also help bring back a sense of purpose. When you feel lost, it is easy to fall into inaction, waiting for clarity before making a move. But sometimes clarity comes through movement, trying new things, exploring different interests, helping others, or simply stepping out of routine can create new experiences that bring unexpected meaning. Helping others is one of the most powerful ways to reconnect with purpose when life feels meaningless. Shifting focus from personal struggles to making a difference for someone else can create a deep sense of fulfillment. Acts of kindness, volunteering, supporting a friend, or simply being present for someone in need can remind you that even small actions have meaning. Connecting with others who share similar values or interests can also bring back a sense of purpose. When you surround yourself with people who inspire you, who are passionate about life, and who encourage growth, their energy can reignite your own sense of meaning. Taking care of your inner world is also important. Sometimes the loss of purpose is connected to emotional exhaustion, stress, or unresolved pain. Giving yourself time to heal, practicing self-care, and allowing yourself to rest without guilt can create space for new purpose to emerge. Letting go of expectations can also be freeing. Many people feel pressure to have everything figured out, to always know their path in life, but purpose is not a destination, it is a journey. There will be times of clarity and times of confusion. Instead of fearing uncertainty, embracing it with an open mind can lead to unexpected discoveries. In the end, purpose is not something that is given to you. It is something that you create. It is not about finding a perfect answer, but about choosing to live in a way that feels meaningful to you. It may not always be clear, and there may be moments of doubt, but purpose is always there, waiting to be rediscovered. When you start to reconnect with what matters, the emptiness begins to fade. Life starts to feel more meaningful, not because everything is perfect, but because you are living with intention. The small moments begin to hold more beauty. The simple joys return, and a quiet sense of fulfillment starts to grow. And slowly, step by step, purpose finds its way back into your life, not as something distant or unreachable, but as something present in the way you live each day when life feels empty. And without purpose, it is not a sign that something is permanently wrong. It is a signal that something inside you is calling for attention. It is an invitation to pause, reflect, and reconnect with what truly matters. Feeling lost does not mean you have failed. It simply means you are in a period of transition, a phase where your heart and soul are searching for deeper meaning. Purpose is not something that exists outside of you waiting to be found. It is something you create through the way you live, the choices you make, the things you give your energy to. It is not always about one grand mission, but about the small, meaningful moments that bring fulfillment. Purpose can be found in acts of kindness, in learning and growth, in creativity and connection, and in simply being present in your own life. The emptiness you feel is not your enemy, it is your guide. It is showing you that something needs to change, that something deeper within you is waiting to be explored. Instead of resisting this feeling, embrace it with curiosity. Ask yourself what truly makes you feel alive, what brings you even the smallest spark of joy, and take small steps toward that direction. The journey to rediscovering purpose is not about having all the answers right away. It is about being open to new experiences, to growth, to the idea that meaning is not something fixed. It evolves as you do. Life may not always be clear, but as long as you keep moving forward with an open heart, purpose will find its way back to you. When it does, you will realize that it was never really lost. It was always within you, waiting for you to see it again.